here. It is March the 20th, 2022. And I'm so excited to come to you tonight. We are all pumped up because we just got back from career conference, the very first career conference since 2019. And if y'all go back to 2020, we had all these people registered for career conference. And then this hit, and we're like, COVID hit. We're like, you think we're going to go? I don't know if we're going to go. We can't go to church. Can we go to career conference? We don't know if we can go. And I just remember leading up to the day, we're like, are they going to cancel it? They're not going to cancel it. And then they canceled career conference, the first time in the history of Mary Kay that they canceled an event. I'm not even kidding. And we were all like, what? And then they did virtual, but it was the very first big virtual event they have ever done. And it busted on us. Like, we had all these people get on, and then the system just shut down. I think Mary Kay and the people they hired, they were not prepared for how many of us participate. And so anyway, of course, they've learned in the last 2 years how to do a virtual event and do it a little bit better. But anyway, we did get to go back this week. And so the career conference was this last weekend, and it's this coming up weekend, according to where you live. It was in 22 different cities all over the United States. So some of us had an awesome time, and some of us are getting ready to go. And so we're going to hear from the first week career conference people. And then next week, the ladies that go to the second week career conference, we would love to hear your thoughts on that. So y'all make sure you take some good notes, especially our sales directors that are going the second week. Okay. So I do have just a couple little announcements before we get started. Number one is the biggest thing to remind you of is double credit. If you're new and you have forgotten, this month is double credit. It's so important to your unit. Everything you order counts double toward the unit recognition. Everything you order counts double for you, for unit sales recognition, as far as the end of the year quarter sales, the Princess quarter sales with your national area, and then with the national quarter sales where you get the diamond ring. Okay, so literally, you guys, if y'all maxed it out and did a $2,000 wholesale order, it would count as 8,000 retail. I mean, y'all could all be on the Princess Court, even if you had ordered nothing yet. So I want you to really think about that. The Princess Court is 20,000 retail. So, I mean, it's the time to pour all you got into your sales this month. And I know that's what you're doing. Because I know a lot of us, we left career conference, we're like, we're getting some bookings. And I know lots of you have. So I'm so excited for you. So I'm actually going to, I will say this. We were excited, a little Cheetah Nation. Our unit was ranked number 5 at career conference. And it's so funny because I was sitting there and I knew some of the ladies that they called out before me. And I was like, oh, I'm out. I know she's ahead of me. I'm out. I'm like, shoot, I thought, I bet I'm number 11 because they do top 10, So I was really thinking about other things, and I'm like, kind of bummed, a little bit. And I thought, well, that's okay, Cleta. You're all right. That doesn't mean anything just because you weren't ranked, and it doesn't really. I mean, like, no matter what you are, doesn't mean what you're going to do by the end of June. Y'all know that, right? But anyway, then they called number 5, and I was very surprised to hear my name. And so it's really almost more exciting than when you don't know, because none of us really knew. The top 3 people knew because they had to speak. But anyway, that was pretty exciting. And then, of course, we had some super marches. All the senior consultants got to march on stage. Our area looked like $1 million. I am not even kidding. They had on their black suits with cheetah print blouses or their beautiful red jacket with the cheetah print underneath. They look like $1 million. We had the red jackets go across. We had winners that were on target for the National Court of Sales, and that Maureen and Sayla both got to walk across with that. That was super exciting. I was on target for Triple Court, which is on target for sharing sales and the Circle of Achievement. And then there were some other things too. So super exciting, but I'm not going to say everything. I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm going to start out with Sayla, if that's okay, Sayla. And we're going to let her share just anything she wants to tell about career conference, what meant the most to her, any kind of little nuggets that she wants to share. We would love to hear it. So may I give you my bestie, Sayla Love.
Hey, everybody. I was looking through my notes tonight just briefly, and I thought, what was my biggest takeaway? And as many of you know, I've been in the company 26 years. I've been to so many career conferences and seminars. But this career conference was electric to me. We had 26 or 7 women from all over the country come in to be part of the Cheetah Nation celebration. I was fortunate enough to have 2 red jackets with me, Ann Peoples and Maria Thompson, which I was so excited. And I talked to a lot of people I had not seen in a long time, since we have not had career conference in a couple of years. But my biggest takeaway was just about the heart of the company and how this company is so empowering to women. And as I was talking to our consultants that were there, just to see the light in their eyes really begin to shine, and how the top directors and the top nationals talked about putting God first, putting your family second, putting your career third, and really working in that order. But one of the main things they talked about is the power of going to work. And, my dad is 85 and still runs a business, and Cleta's dad is older and runs a business. And people like that will say work is a good 4-letter word. And that, the power in working and sharing, because we take it for granted, if we've been in Mary Kay any length of time, that the world operates like the pink bubble, and it simply does not. And to me, when I was there and I saw, you heard story after story of women who were literally feeding their families macaroni and butter, to get through, because she bought her kit. And I know, all of us have had really tough times when we thought, is Mary Kay really worth the effort or really worth the sacrifice? And it is. That is what the 24 hours at Career Conference did for me. I will tell you that Sonia Paez, she was she was the top national there at our career conference. And she finished up with just a little list of a couple of things that I'll give you for those that like a list. And she was so powerful. She said to assess yourself, number one, assess yourself and what is your mindset now? She said that, once you've been to an event, once you've been to some Mary Kay, even a Boss Babe call, your mindset is totally different than it was before the Boss Babe call. You're thinking in a different way. Your family is still where they were, but you are thinking totally different. She said, be sure to get to know who you are. A lot of times we're so busy trying to get to know our best friends and solving the world's problems, but we need to know who we are. She said, know your purpose. Make sure your purpose is clear. Be intentional on what you're searching for. Sometimes we let other people set goals for us, but it's important to know the reasons why we are doing things, so that when the going gets tough, that why is in front of us and we know. I wrote on a sheet of paper a few weeks ago, just on the notebook paper, what my unit size is goal and my wholesale a month goal is. And I call it my passenger, my girlfriend that rides in the front. I just have that piece of paper laying in the front seat. And so know what your purpose is and keep it in front of you. Trust the process. Mary Kay has been in business 60 years now, and we have to trust the process, and be ready. Be ready to multiply. If someone said, okay, here's 5 new team members and here's $10,000 in business this month, would you be ready? Would you know what to say? Would you have the product to service those customers and those orders? And so that was the last list that she gave us. And I thank you for the opportunity and just love each of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sayla. Thank you so much, Sayla. Great job. And it was just so great seeing Sayla's 2 beautiful red jackets, Maria Thompson and Peoples. Maria just got in her red jacket like right before career conference. So it was so exciting to see people move up and get to wear red at the conference. And when you get, I know, like, if you're not going to meetings much, you're like, what's the big deal being in your red jacket? It's a big deal, you guys. It's a big deal. It is leadership in this company. So in case you're new, a red jacket is the actual title is Star Team Builder, and it's 3 active team members. And we want to see a whole sea of red.
Yeah.
So if you have 1 or none or 2, you can be a red by the end of the month. It really is, if you think about it, is someone signing up $30 or $130, right? And placing a wholesale order of $225 or more. That's it. It's not like it's going to take $10,000 to get in your red jacket. I mean, literally, think about that. So what y'all think about, don't make it harder than it is, and think, who could I get to join me? And if you went to career conference, I want you to think of, if I'm like, when you were sitting there and you think of the people in your life, your friends, and if you said, if they said, okay, you can bring 2 friends with you that you think would love career conference, just 2 people you think would enjoy it, who would you bring? Like, of your girlfriends, like, could you think of somebody that, and I used to do this, I'd be at seminar and I'm like, she would absolutely go bonkers over this. She would love it. And your friends, their personalities, your customers even. And who do you think would just eat up something like career conference and like what we have? And those are the women you need to reach out to and tell them why. Say, I thought about you. I was sitting there and I thought, if you were here with me, we would have so much fun. We would learn so much together, and it would just be, make my business even sweeter to have a friend like you in the company with me. I want y'all to think about that tonight. And the person that pops in your head, you've got to reach out to them. Even if you've reached out to them before, you got to do it again, because you never know when the time is right. Okay, I'm going to bring up Maureen. And by the way, Sayla, I love those top 10 tips with Sonia Paez. She was incredible, you guys. Incredible. She's the Inner Circle National. She moved over here from Salvador. Isn't that what she said? I think it was Salvador. And with like nothing. It was unbelievable where she has come from, you guys. And she is like an elite executive senior national sales director. As she was telling all her stuff, I'm like, there ain't no telling how much income that woman is bringing in. But anyway, she was so inspirational. Okay, here we go. Let me bring you over here, girl. Maureen, take it away. It's Maureen Frazier. Let me say this. Maureen got to go across stage as a brand new sales director. First time at career conference as a sales director. So Maureen, you can give us that side. You've been to career conference as a consultant, and now going back as a sales director, and then anything else you'd like to share.
All right. Well, thank you so much for this. So to let us share, and oh my gosh, I had such a blast with all of the Cletus cheetahs this weekend. It was so much fun. And I absolutely remember what it was like to be a consultant, a red jacket, and then a red jacket, and then a red jacket, and then a sales director this time. So it's like night and day. And you know what? When it's your time, and why wait? Like, if I could go back and tell my younger self something, I would say, hurry up and do it now. And I learned so much, and I was open to so much. And my favorite thing about this weekend was from Audrey McDowell. And Cleta, what was she? She was a sales director, but I can't remember.
She's a top director in Mary Kay. So she's won several trips, and yeah.
Well, aside from the other amazing teacher we had, Cleta Colson-Eyre, on selling, she was, that was amazing in and of itself, of course. But this Audrey McDowell, she talked a lot about reinventing her organization. Now, I've heard a couple different sales directors talk about the Mary Kay business as their organization. I think even Lorinda talks about it as her organization. And I don't know, it was just ringing to me a little bit more this weekend. Like, yeah, this is our organization. This is we say my business. But when this lady started talking about reinventing her organization, I don't know, it just really hung with me for a while. She talked a lot about how it feels to be new. And I resonated with that too, because I'm a new sales director. So she just kind of reinvented herself, and she talked a lot about that. And it was eye-opening because like Cleta, I know, like, you just cleaned out your closet, right? And how did that feel? It felt great, right? So she talked a lot about that, and it just got me kind of, my brain was going a million miles an hour. Like, yeah, I should be thinking about this from a different angle, from a different perspective, instead of just kind of hanging in this old, crusty, dusty thinking. So she talked about that we must rise up, and it's not about us. It's about the people who we're going to meet, or the people who are counting on us to show up when the time is right, during God's timing. And that when we rise up to fulfill what we're supposed to be doing, then we're going to allow the other people who are coming, allow them to be all that God wants them to be. Because what if we don't show up? Well, God has another plan, of course, but it would sure be great if we just did what we were supposed to do when we're supposed to do it, right? So that really spoke to me. And to fix myself, figure it out, like, I remember hearing a teaching from Lorinda. If there's something that you say about yourself, stop saying that negative thing and go fix it. Like, what do you like? Why? For me, it's like this late thing, right? So like this time thing. So of course, I made it very well known the other day. I'm on time, I'm early. And of course, it was, thank you to Larry, helped me out there, but I was on time. So I'm going to fix that. Like, that's something. And that trickles into our organization too. So all these things. So she talked about fix it, figure it out. Are you talking with God enough? And I know I'm not even talking about Mary Kay right now, but I think that when those things are cornerstones, and when we get good at those things and proficient at those things, then I think Mary Kay, the business, our organization, becomes a little simpler, and we're not tripping over everything that we currently maybe trip over. Culture, this line that she said was it for me. This was my sentence for the weekend. Culture will eat strategy for breakfast. I really loved that. Culture will eat. We've got the best culture in Mary Kay. I love it. Mediocrity doesn't inspire anybody. Reinventing me. Growth is a decision. And gold medal, gold medal, she talked about Olympic athletes and gold medal. And I thought, gosh, every time I hear gold medal, I go, it like freaks me out. But you know what? If I go at gold medal, if I'm trying to fix myself, if I'm trying to take care of things, and if I shoot for the gold medal every month, what if I get one or two new team members? Whoa, that's terrible. No, then I'll get to the gold medal. Maybe I'll start gold medaling in 4 months, but I'll start gold medaling in 4 months every single month, because I started doing the work now. Maybe I won't gold medal this month, but maybe the work that I put in now is going to start spearing the gold medal in 3 to 4 months, every month, right? So that's what I was thinking, right?
Maureen, tell them what a gold medal is in case we have someone new.
Sure. So a gold medal is when, and I had it wrong thinking 10 years ago. I'm glad you said that. A gold medal is when you bring in 5 new people with a new agreement, and like with no order, like you just bring them in, they sign their agreement. I used to think they had to be active to get your gold medal, and you don't. So 5 people that you bring in with an agreement, $30 or $130, and that's what you do. And there you go, and you get a gold medal. So, and then you can get the order in later, next month or whatever, in a week, but I mean, that's what a gold medal is. Audrey talked a lot about dreams, and I'm starting to dream again. I'm dreaming a little bit more. Sometimes I find that I'm trying to do too much instead of thinking, like dreaming. I'm not spending enough moments dreaming about what it will look like in 6 months. Sometimes I get too tied up in the thinking about what I'm doing and what's not working. And instead of dreaming and writing out some dreams, and like Sayla said, she's got it sitting right next to her, right? Her unit goals and her unit production goals. So she's got it right there. And those are her, like, so that's important too for me. And really, she said, come on, I'm reinventing my organization, and the willingness. That's what I'll end with, the willingness. So sometimes I'm willing and sometimes I'm not. And when I'm not, I'm going to be paying attention to why I'm not willing. What is the distraction in front of me? Why am I not willing to get my tail up? Am I being a lazy bum? Am I needing to take care of something in my emotions? Am I running from something? Like, where's my willingness? Like, some days you can't even get me away from my work, and other days you can't get me to my work. So I'm going to be paying attention. She talked a little bit about that, about how many appointments will you hold? What was your result today? What was your result today? So anyways, willingness is super important. I think willingness isn't something we're born with. It's a decision to go forward. So thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Maureen. A great job. You know, I always love being around Maureen, and especially at an event, because like Maureen is like, when she sits there listening to and like whoever said something, it's like she heard it for the very first time, like somebody speaking, she goes, oh, wow. Like, I'm just like, I just love her. I love being around her. I love her enthusiasm and just her excitement about the business. And it's so genuine. It's so genuine. And that's why you're a sales director today, Maureen, is because of that attitude that you have. And so thank you for sharing that. Audrey was one of my favorite classes as well. And so I'm going to bring up Laree. I believe she's on here. Let me find her. Yes, she is. Okay. So this is Laree Barfield, and I'm going to put her on here for everybody so Laree can give us her takeaways.
Hey, everybody. One of my best takeaways is I got to know Maureen so much better because we roomed together. And so that is one of the great things about going on a Mary Kay trip, is that you get to really get to know people on a deeper level. And, you know, some of my best friends are people that I've roomed with in Mary Kay. And so, anyway, so don't ever miss an opportunity to go to an event, because it is just different when you can be in the space of the company leaders, but also your peers, where you can stay up late talking at night and learn more about each other and just encourage each other. So I had another engagement, and so I missed what Sayla said. So I don't want to repeat a lot of things, but I did. And I know we've got some other people speaking too. So I'm just going to give you, I took a lot of notes, but I'm going to give you some of the points that are kind of my takeaways from this weekend. And again, there's not a lot that were things that I haven't heard before, but sometimes you're in a different place to listen to them, or sometimes you just need to hear them. And so there was a training I listened to last week that was, it says, you know, we know, and matter of fact, I think it was even Pam Shaw in the director training. It's like, you don't need to be told anything else to do. You just need to do the things that you already know to do. And so, but some of those things are so important, but yet we forget about them and we don't do them. And one of the things that I had written down was ink it to link it and think it. So write down your goals. But not just that, because I've got plenty of, I have a little notes app on my phone. And so I was scrolling in bed this morning, looking at all the old notes and how many other affirmations I've already written down in years past and things like that. But one of the things that it says, that if you don't see it and say it in 3 days, it's gone. And you need to say them to yourself 3 times a day. And that is so true, because so many other things can cloud our mind and our time and, you know, all the other priorities that are in our life. But we have to tell our brains how we want to think, because the subconscious and the conscious mind, you know, you've got to tell yourself what you want to think, and not stop believing the lies of the enemy, stop believing so many other things, the distractions, the frustrations. Write your goals down and revisit them 3 times a day. Set a reminder. You know, we have no excuse anymore. We have reminders on our phone. Our phones are attached to our hands. We can't go to the bathroom without them. We can't drive without them. Your phone does not leave your side. So put a reminder and do it, and tell yourself what you're going to think about the day. So you've got to speak life and not negative confession. One of the points that I wrote down is have 20 seconds of insane courage. and then do the work that you need to do. Lack of discipline is what holds you back. There will be more times that you don't want to do the action than there are that you just want to I just want to make some booking calls today. I just can't wait to get on the phone and make some booking calls. While that's a great affirmation, that's not necessarily how you would naturally think, because the action precedes the emotion. So when you start doing the action, then all of a sudden you gain your confidence and you start enjoying what you're doing. One of the things that it said was that the difference in you and the people that were on the stage speaking is the length of time in between their disappointments. We all get disappointments in our business. We have that person that says no, we have, the zero party or whatever the situation may be, but you've got to decide how you're going to feel and respond to those disappointments ahead of time so that you're acting and not reacting to the situation. And so, we're going to have the disappointments, but if you've already decided when this happens, I'm going to go ahead and book 5 parties instead of just 1, so that when that one hostess is ghosting me, I've already got 4 more that I'm dealing with, so that I'm not just paralyzed by that action. So fail and then get right back up and go ahead and have that activity planned. And one of the things that I put too is imperfect action done consistently will still get you there, because it's the action. Because sometimes I think we have paralysis by analysis, and we want it to be, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and so I want things to be just done right. And I think especially with consultants that are newer or just, don't have that skill level, it's like, what's the script that I need to use? Or what's this that I need to use? I need, what do I need to post? Just do something. Just do something consistently, and it will help. It will, just getting on the phone and being, trying to do a booking call every day, or, trying to get a booking call or booking every day will just do a lot of great things for you. So do the things that you need to do for your business and do it consistently. Because that, I heard that in different ways throughout. It's like the consistency is what is going to create the future that you want. Because everything starts with a dream. Do it big, fierce, have a drop dead goal. Don't waste your energy with regret. Because a lot of us, no matter where you are in the career path, most of us are not where we want to be. Cleta was number 5 in our career conference. That's a great place to be unhappy with where you're at. That's the reality of it. Some of the sales directors on the call, we are not where we want to be in our business, because there's always the next level to go. From the newest consultant to the NSD still wants to be an inner circle. So that's the great thing about Mary Kay's. There's always a next level to strive for. It says faith is what you do when you fully believe it will happen, because faith is the action that you put forth with that belief. So we've got to change our belief by doing the positive affirmations repeatedly throughout the day, telling your brain what to believe. And then the action, you doing the action will also bring the emotion. So, and then one final thing, and I will put, is it's only hard until it gets easy. So and that one was like, I need to put that one on a Post-it note on my computer, because, there are some things that we make up in our mind that they're really hard to do, whether it's, earning a car, earning a trip, whatever that next level is. But you develop the skills and it does get easier. And that's from just getting on the phone and booking a party, or just selling $200. Whether $200 is your goal or $2,000 is your goal, that goal is going to change, and you develop those muscles and those skills at each level, and then the next level gets a little easier. So the more you do it, just go ahead and decide what you want for this seminar year goal. When, what, and why are clear, and in alignment, the how is easy. So, and I heard that several times from different people too. And so that's just it, is we need to make up our mind, have a made up mind for what we want to do, and then just start doing the action. And so all the speakers were great. All the, I took plenty of notes, but those are kind of the things that what I'm going to do differently is going back to the basics of Mary Kay. Doing, having that dream, making that dream, keeping that dream in front of us, and then doing the activity to make it happen. So
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You did a great job, and you did not repeat anything that Sayla said. So isn't that perfect? And the thing that I was thinking of as you guys were talking and what I was thinking too, one of my biggest takeaways is that your goals matter. And sometimes we set goals and then we miss them. And then we go, well, it's okay. I'm okay. It's not that important. It don't really matter. I mean, I'll do it next year. I'll do it next month. I'll do, whatever. But you guys really, when I was sitting there, I'm like, it just gave me determination. I'm like, goals matter. And I tell you, Mary Kay events for me are what ignites me to push myself to what I want to do. Like, it was easier last 2 years to let myself off the hook when I knew, number one, they weren't even going on the trip. Now, that's kind of dumb because they gave the trip winners $20,000 in the $800,000 level, which is what we did the year before. They gave them $20,000, and the $1 million directors, they gave them $25,000. So, but for me, I'm like, well, they're not even going anyway. Well, it's not like I'm not going to get to sit up front because they're not even having a seminar. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like, it does matter, but in my mind, I just talk myself in and out of it and like, it's okay. It's okay. Now, am I proud that I don't quit when I fail? Of course. But I was sitting there today and I thought, it matters what you say. It matters what you said July 1st of what you really wanted to do for the year. So go back. I mean, that's what you said. So don't let the devil talk you out of like, you don't really need to do that. That's not that big a deal. It doesn't really matter. It matters. And so I just thought, you know what? I have integrity. This is a goal I want to do. One of mine is triple star. I've never done triple star in 36 years. And I know some of my directors from they're like, really? Like, I'm like, just shut up. You've never won a trip. They're like ragging me. Okay. But really, why haven't I? Why haven't I? And what it is the bumblebee, the court of sharing. In years, I've gotten 19 and maybe like 20 something, but they weren't all qualified. And I'm like, you know what I said? It don't matter. I'm doing this. But this year, I'm like, at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I'm getting that dang B. And so I've had to push myself, but the Lord has, like, when I decided to do it and start working in a certain direction, God has followed me in that direction and put people in my path to talk to and dropped a couple of people in my lap. I'm not even kidding, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I want you to just think about that goal. And it could be something like, you really want to be in your red jacket. I mean, you've been saying it, but you never have quite gotten there, or maybe you used to be in it and you're not anymore. I mean, it matters. If that's what you want, God's going to help you align your actions. You have to align them with your goal. And so one of the things, I just threw a couple of things on here that I just circled, just like one kind of, I call them like one-liners. Okay. And so I'm going to give you a couple of one-liners that I heard. One of them that kind of resonated with me, like, just like Larry said, every single thing was good. I got tons of notes, but that your goal with a deadline changes lives. So what do I mean by that? Let's say your goal is to get in your red jacket, or maybe your goal is to gold medal, like Maureen said. So if that's your goal and you have a deadline of, say, end of the month, March the 31st, and you have to sign up maybe 3 people to make that goal of red jacket. Did you know that those 3 people that you sign up, it is going to change their life, and potentially huge, because you don't know who's going to take the business and run with it. You don't know if that girl could come in and sign up 50 people, right? You don't really know. It changes lives, So I think about, I signed up my sister. My sister recruited Larry. Larry is a sales director. And think of all the people in her unit. I signed up Sayla. Sayla is a sales director. And think of all the people in her unit. So by me opening my mouth and signing up just those 2, my sister Connie and Sayla, think about all the lives that changed because I had that deadline. So sometimes you think it's selfish. I don't want to make these big goals, but it's going to change lives, and not just yours, other people. So there's no top director that gets on the stage and doesn't talk about the person that signed her up, that asked her to the meeting, that asked her to have a facial, that, introduced her to Mary Kay. And we're so grateful. So grateful. So it matters. Your goals matter, and a deadline. So the deadline is March 31st. And if not that, it is June 30th. That is our seminar. So we're not going 10 years down the road, y'all. And just like I think it was Maureen said, she could go back and tell her younger self. If I could go back and tell my younger self, and I can remember one of the years where I had about 13 offspring, not just mine, but me and my offspring and their offspring. If I could go back, I would say, girl, get the other 7 and become a national. Let's get that sucker done. But you know what I did? And I'm not even kidding you. I can remember doing it. I thought, well, I'm only 25. They retire at 60. I mean, like, I got 40 years. They retired at 65. I thought, I got 40 years to do this. I mean, even if it takes me 10 years, that's still a long time to be a national. Well, guess what? The other day, I blinked and I've been in for 36 years. I mean, like, it does go by fast. And so then after I said that about my younger self, I thought, you're still alive, you're still breathing, you still could do it. So quit messing around and get the sucker done. Okay. The other thing, that's one thing that I thought of. Okay. Another one that I circled was, hang on, now my eyes, I can't see. I outlined it in green, and after looking at the screen, everything I'm looking at is green. Okay. Really, Sayla, or Maureen talked about this, about fixing yourself. But I will say one thing that kind of impacted me when they were talking about that building other women's confidence. Like if you're a sales director, or maybe you are a recruiter and you have a team member, which is a lot of y'all on here. One of the biggest things you can do is help build your team and your units, their self-confidence. And a low self-confidence person, this is what Audrey said, she focuses mostly on herself. A person with a healthy self-confidence focuses more on others. Because when you have a low self-confidence, you're always worried about what other people think of you, what they think of your hair, your eyes, your clothes, your lipstick, your jewelry, your husband, your house, your dog. I mean, like, they can't, but when you have a higher self-confidence, now that sounds like you think more about yourself, but it's really the opposite. It's like you get ready in the morning, you try to look your best, and then you forget about yourself the rest of the day and you pour into other people. So we want to really work on our self-confidence so that we can focus more on other people. So if you find that you're thinking a lot about yourself, then start reaching out to other people, and you will find that your self-confidence will build with every facial you do. Every time you build up someone else, it will turn around and build you up, so I thought that was really good. And then another one that I circled is, how we talk about our Mary Kay, the career opportunity. And one of the things that we say is, it's so flexible, right? Don't we say that? It's God first, family second, career third. I can work around my family, my other job, my other obligations, and blah, blah, blah. And so Pam Shaw said, I like this. She said, flexible never meant instead of. So it didn't mean like, I'm going to do this instead of working my Mary Kay business. It's flexible to work around your Mary Kay business, not instead of your Mary Kay business. So if you find yourself in the evenings cross-stitching all night long for 4 hours, or playing bingo on your phone for 4 hours when you could be booking people, then you just made our flexible opportunity instead of, like, I'm doing this instead of around. Okay. And so not that either one of those things are bad, but I'm just saying, if you have big goals, you do have to cut some things out that aren't on your goals. And like our younger self, I'd have said, don't do all that crazy other stuff you're doing. Focus, Cleta, focus on what you want, and give it all you got to when you go to bed at night. You are plumb out tired, but you have had a good day, a good Mary Kay day, and that you're getting somewhere. You have no regrets. And guess what? You sleep like a little baby. because you're not going, man, I just didn't get much done today. I don't know. I'm just so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. No, you're like, man, I killed it today. And, or I gave life today. Right. And I know my efforts equal results. My efforts equal results. And so anyway, that's some of the things that we wanted to share as the sales directors. I believe Janet and I stayed an extra day, and I don't think she is home yet. So she could not come on here tonight, but you guys, it was a super conference. And I want to say this before we stop the YouTube. If you haven't gone, okay, did you know that next weekend they're having a career conference? And every single site, they have room for on-site registration. It costs you $10 more than we paid. So it's like no big deal. So every single one of you that are listening to my voice you could get on Mary Kay In Touch, go to events, go to career conference, look and see when week number 2 is, get in your little car or buy a little plane ticket and fly to career conference. And I'm telling you, you would personally probably call me and say, I am so glad you said that. I did it and I'm going, and I'm so glad I did. It changed everything. It would be worth it. It would be worth it. So I just wanted to tell you that. And then I do know that some of you watched it virtually, and we would love to know your feedback on that too. It was in Allen, Texas. And so I know some of you did that. That's pretty exciting as well. And I believe, all of us that went, we can actually go and watch it virtually to the general session for that career conference as well. So that would be pretty fun too. There's extra classes you can watch with different teachers that we heard, unless you were at Allen, Texas, and then it'll be like a repeat. But y'all can check that out as well. Okay. So we are going to stop the YouTube, but everybody else hang on here just for a second.